Hello everyone, I am CA Natasha. Today we all have smartphones, smart TVs, smart kids. But what we are lacking is financial smartness. Financial smartness can be achieved with correct financial planning. So today we are going to discuss about retirement planning, which is one of the most important aspects of financial planning. So have you planned for retirement? No, not yet. Why? You think your kids are going to take care of it? What if I say your kids are going to have their own life to take care of? So, we plan for travel, for children's education, for purchasing a house or a car, but we don't plan for retirement. All these plans can be achieved in the short term with the regular income that we are earning. But what about retirement? क्या आपने कभी सोचा है कि आप उस समय कैसे जिएंगे जब आपकी रेगुलर इनकम नहीं होगी? What is your plan for retirement? So मान लीजिए कि आप 60 years of age में retire होंगे. So assuming you will retire at the age of 60 and assuming that you will live up to the age of 80. What if I tell you that you will need 18 crore rupees to live independently for these 20 years, and with these 18 crores you are only going to fulfill your basic necessities? You're surprised, I'm sure. So why you need to plan for your retirement? Let's understand. Because after retirement you will not have an active source of income. You will not have your monthly regular salary coming in. Still, you will be incurring your basic living expenses, food, shelter, clothing. You will also have medical expenses, maybe a little more than what you have today. And you may also require emergency funds because emergencies don't see age, don't see time. They just knock your door and you need to have balance to pay for such emergencies. So, when to start planning for your retirement? Ideally, the moment you receive your first salary in your account, you are supposed to start saving for your retirement. However, it's never too late and you should and you can start today itself by saving for your retirement. Let's see how to plan for retirement. Now, you need to see what is your earning period before retirement. So, if you are 25 years today and you're going to retire at the age of 60, the earning period before retirement is 35 years. If you are 30 years of age, your earning period before retirement is 30. If you are 35, then you have 25 years more for your retirement. That is your earning period before retirement. What will be the approximate survival period post retirement? Now, none of us really know this, what is going to be our end date in this world. However, let's go by an approximate that science has progressed, and so we have all types of medicines because of which we can live longer. So, assuming we would live at least till the age of 80, that would be my approximate survival period post retirement. So from 60 to 80, I am looking at those 20 years of my life. What are the current expenses? Current expenses, I mean basic expenses which would be like food, shelter, clothing, and how much would I be incurring that in a year? एक साल में मेरा basic खर्चा कितना है? On these expenses, I need to add inflation. Now, why do I need to add inflation? हम सब ये जानते हैं कि चीजें महंगी हो रही हैं. हम सब ये सुनते हैं कि ये महंगा हो रहा है, महंगाई बढ़ रही है, things are getting expensive. So if I don't account for this inflation, my calculation is going to go wrong. So whatever is my current expense, I need to add the inflation adjustment to it to come to the right figure that I would need post my retirement. Now, whatever these expenses are, of course, we've already discussed that there is no active source of income post retirement. So I need a passive income required to meet these expenses. And what are passive incomes? Passive incomes are like your interest, your dividend. These are your passive incomes. And from where do you get interest and dividend? From investments. Investments required to generate future passive income. So, like I said, you need interest and dividend, for which you need to invest in stocks and funds and FDs and deposits. Type of investments and amount of investment annually is very, very important to understand, so that you have a proper capital at the end of your retirement, that is at the age of 60 that we are assuming. Now, everyone tells you that you need to live in the present. Yes, you need to live in the present, but keep an eye at the future, so that you have a secured present as well as a secured and happy future. Now, we are going to see what are the assumptions that we are making while discussing these slides. Basically, what I am assuming that you would already have done, and post that you're going to save for retirement. So I assume that you already would have some medical insurance for yourself and for your children, other than what your company is already doing for you. You have a term life insurance and not a life insurance. Term life insurance is more important and beneficial. You have your children education funds already set aside. You do not have any other loans like personal car loan or any other loan. Home loan is fine, but any other loan is of course expensive. And so here, when we are doing the calculations, we are assuming that you don't have these kinds of loans. And there is also another assumption that you at least have 6 months of expenses equivalent liquid fund. Now, let's discuss this with an example. Mr. A, who is 30 years old today and will be retiring at the age of 60 years. He has dependents, he has a spouse, 2 kids and parents. The current finances of his is that his income is 20 lakhs per annum and his expenses are 12 lakhs per annum. Now, annual expenses post-retirement at current prices after he retires, that is at the age of 60, his annual expenses would be 8 lakhs. So at that point of time, of course, he won't have responsibilities of his parents and his children. At that point of time also, he will need 8 lakh rupees to just live happily with his spouse. Now, he already has current annual investments in the way of PPF 1.5 lakh, Provident Fund 1.5 lakh, FD 3 lakh and some saving 2 lakh. So how does he go about planning for his retirement? Now, his annual expense at the age of 60 is going to be 8 lakh as per the current prices today. So the present value of his expenses 30 years after is 8 lakh, and 30 years after, these expenses are going to increase because of the inflation that we discussed, because of the global recession coming in. So the current expenses that are 8 lakh today for his retirement, taking into consideration the inflation, these expenses are going to become at least 1.5 crore, that is at the age of 80. And this chart is explaining to us that from the age of 60 to 80, that is for those 20 years, he is going to need 18 crore rupees for these 20 years as his expenses. So year on year, these expenses keep increasing because of the inflation factor, and by the end of 50 years, these expenses become around 1.5 crore. So how 50 years? That is 30 years of now. A is 30 years today. He's going to retire at the age of 60, 30. I'm assuming he's going to live till 80, another 20. So by the end of 50 years, his expenses, this 8 lakh rupees of expenses is going to become 1.5 crore. What have the cost of necessities in the last 20 years been? How have they changed? Please keep in mind that these prices are approximation of prices. So just for example, butter 500 gram in 2003 was around rupees 65. And what is the cost of butter today? The same 500-gram pack costs rupees 265. White bread in 2003 was rupees 16. White bread in 2023 is rupees 30. Milk in 2003 was around rupees 35 per liter. Today, milk is rupees 85 per liter. One egg in 2003 was only rupees 2. One egg today costs rupees 7. So if in the last 20 years prices have increased in this way, taking into consideration the inflation, I don't think my calculation is going to go wrong for the 18 crore. Now, how much to invest? Total expense required is rupees 18 crore. We've understood that now. We need to have a corpus of at least 50% of the requirement. So now I'm saying that my total expenditure post-retirement is going to be 18 crore of rupees. Now, to expend that much, I need a corpus or a capital of 50%. That is at least 9 crore rupees of corpus I need to have today, or rather by the age of 60. I need a corpus of rupees 9 crore. Now, no additional investments during retirement, but I will continue to reap the returns on my capital. So the 9 crore that I invest by the age of 60, assuming I'm not going to have money post that to keep investing, and post 60, I am only going to get gains from those investments, which are going to take care of my expenses. I will continue to have medical insurance, preferably increase the cover as my age increases, as my needs increase. Now, how I'm going to do that? So, to have a 9 crore rupees of corpus at the age of 60, I need to make a monthly investment of around 46,000 rupees. So, which is going to add up to an annual investment of 5,58,000. Now, duration of these investments is going to be 30 years, and assuming that the rate of return is going to be 10%, the corpus at the beginning of retirement, that is at the age of 60, is going to be 9 crore. Now you would say, how can I make a monthly investment of 50,000 rupees? I already have a lot of other things to take care of. Mr. A is having an annual salary of 20 lakh and his annual expenditure is 12 lakh that we saw in our example. Now, it's not going to remain 20 lakh forever. You get increments, your salary keeps increases year on year. As your salary increases, you can increase your monthly investment. So what I'm trying to say is that in the initial years, maybe you are not able to invest 50,000 every month for your retirement. Maybe you are able to invest 20, 25, 30, but not 50. But as your salary increases and as you move forward, this 50 then needs to become 75,000. So later in the years, you need to invest 75,000 and balance it out. So your average is going to come to 50,000 per month, right? So rate of return has to be 10%, means I'm obviously not going to tell you to invest in fixed deposits. Now, this is the power of compounding. If you need 18 crore rupees as your expense, you need 9 crore as your capital. And as you can see, so by the age of 60, you're going to have 9 crore rupees. Now, what are the investment avenues? You can invest in equity, in stocks, you can invest in mutual funds, large cap index funds, hybrid. Of course, you have Provident Fund. National Pension Scheme is also a very good scheme where your money is going to be invested equally in equity, in government bonds and in corporate bonds. And of course, fixed deposits is going to be like your last option because you don't get a 10% return on your fixed deposit. Now, you need to have a diversified portfolio. So this is the kind of diversification that you can take into account. And you would say that this is risky. Stock is risky, mutual fund is risky. It is risky, but this risk is only going to give you returns in the long term. Even if you look at the Sensex and the Nifty, long-term investments have only given gains, and you are going to get your return of 10 to 12% if you are going to have such kind of a diversified model. Now, how do you manage your retirement period? The investment of 9 crore that you have made by the age of 60 will be sufficient enough to give you returns, to give you passive income, and it will be taking care of your expenses. At the end of 20 years post retirement, Mr. A still has the corpus. Mr. A is you. You will still have the corpus or the capital of rupees 9 crore, and you are going to continue gaining your income on this 9 crore. You are not going to touch the 9 crore rupees that you have invested, that you have saved. The corpus, the 9 crore, the capital can be used for any major emergency expenses, or it can be useful if your life continues after the age of 80. So if you're going to live for 100 years, so for another 20 years at least, those 9 crore rupees are going to help you live peacefully. Now, it is always important to be prudent in expenses. Ensure that money stays beyond you, but not so much that your children are enjoying. Of course, they can enjoy, but first, you need to enjoy your retirement. And if you plan your retirement the way it has been discussed here, I'm sure you're going to have a very peaceful and happy and enjoyable retirement. So that's all. Thank you so much for listening me out. I hope this presentation would be helpful for you. For any further information, you can get in touch with me and we can discuss this further. Thank you once again.